Welcome to our last video about networks. On this video we are going to configure a couple of web servers so we can see on the simulator the concepts that we studied on the previous video, right? And we are also going to use this video as a review of all the concepts that we have seen up to this moment. So let's imagine that I've got a network at home with three computers. So in order to connect them, I will need a switch. Two of the computers are going to have dynamic IP addresses, so I need a DHCP server. I'm going to connect my network to the internet, so I need a router, and my ISP is going to provide me with a DNS server, and it also has a couple of web servers that contain the web pages that I am going to visit. Okay, and in order to connect all of these things, I will need a switch. Let's connect everything. I will connect my computers to my switch. Doesn't matter the interface. Okay, no, I clicked cancel instead of save. My DHCP server. Okay, at home you usually have a DHCP server. It's inside your router. Okay, your router is usually also a DHCP server, but you don't know it, right? And I'm going to link my switch to my router. Okay, usually your router is also a switch. Okay, remember that we said that on a previous video, right? And we have to link our internal network to the LAN side of our router. Okay, and our ISP has everything connected to its switch. Remember that this is a simplification. Okay, our ISP will have lots of switches, routers, everything connected. Okay, but the thing is that our ISP is connected to the WAN side of our network, of our router. Let's configure our private network. Okay, our DHCP server will need a static IP address, and as this is our home, it is going to be a private IP address. So for example, I'm going to use this one. Okay, this is going to be my DHCP server. Let's save. This computer will have a static IP address. It's going to be, for example, number 2. My router's LAN side will also need a static IP address. I'm going to use the last one that I can use on my network. Remember, 255 and 0 addresses should not be used. Okay, so the last one that I should use is 254, and the first one that I should use is 1, not 0. Okay, so this is the LAN side, and now that I have configured this, okay, this is going to be the gateway for my network. So on this computer here, I can go to gateways, and I can add my router's LAN IP address as the gateway for this computer. And let's configure our DHCP server. Okay, I want my DHCP server to manage the addresses that go from 10 to 20. Okay, so let's configure our DHCP server to offer addresses from 10 to 20, and our DHCP server must tell, okay, the computers with dynamic IP addresses that this is the gateway that they should use. Okay, our ISP will have its network configured with public IP addresses. So let's use these ones. For example, this server this other server is going to be 888.11. The DNS server, okay, this is important for us, is going to be 888.20. I'm going to copy this because I will use it later, and the router's one side is going to be 30. Okay, these IPs here, okay, they are not when I am at home I do not configure this. Okay, this must have been configured by our ISP, right, by our internet provider. Okay, if I want to use the DNS server provided by my ISP, okay, as I will probably want to do, my DHCP server will need to give that information to the computers with dynamic IP addresses. Okay, so I configure it here, and my computers with static IP addresses will need to also have that statically configured. Okay, if I wanted to access the internet and to use domain names directly with these computers, I would also have to have here the gateway, and here the DNS server. But as I am not going to use that things from this computer, okay, I am only using the DHCP server to give these computers their IP information, their IP configuration. Okay, I only need to configure it here. Okay, so now that I have done this, I can request the DHCP information for these two computers. Okay, and now my network is configured. Let's configure our DNS server. Okay, imagine that I've got 3 domains. 2 of them are going to be hosted here, and another one is going to be hosted here. So let's configure our DNS server, and let's say, for example, that 3w.maristasbilbao.com is configured or is hosted inside this server, and that another subdomain is hosted inside the same computer, and this other subdomain, okay, the email system is hosted inside this other computer. Okay, so my DNS server contains a database that translates domains to IP addresses. And how will I configure these servers? Okay, we have said that HTTP servers have folders linked to domains, right? So this server, okay, I clicked where I shouldn't. Now, yes. Okay, this first server has two folders that are linked to these two domains. Okay, I have just created them this way. Okay, on the simulator it is really easy. I just create folders with the names of the domains, right? And if I click here to edit, I can add files to these folders. So for example, file 1 and file 2. Okay, I create two files inside that folder and I can edit there. Hello, this is file 1 from www.maristasbilbao.com, and I'm just going to copy this. Okay, this is the content, my first file, and on the second one I'm going to say that this is file 2. Okay, I have just created. Okay, so I created two folders linked to these two domains inside this server, right? Inside this first folder I created two files, and here I'm going to create another one. Okay, this is going to be test. I'm going to edit it, and hello, this is test file from aula.maristasbilbao.com. Okay, this is just a test, right? But on a real server, okay, you would have lots of files that comprise the websites inside that server, right? So now, okay, let's save this. Let's configure this other one. Okay, here we have email.maristasbilbao.com, and inside email I will have email.html. Okay, this could be the web page where we see our email, and you have no new email. Okay, of course this is a static text. A real web page or a real web mail would have or would be programmed using databases, using a programming language, right? But this is just a test. So back, and now that we have everything, let's try to use these web pages from these computers. From this first computer, I'm going to use or try to access one page from www.maristasbilbao.com. Okay, I'm going to use file 1 and file 2, both of them. So when I open on a real computer, when I open a browser and I write the address, okay, the first thing that the computer does is it automatically requests the IP address for that domain name. Okay, on our simulator that needs to be done manually. So first of all, we are going to perform a DNS lookup for the domain www.maristasbilbao.com. Perform the lookup. It found the answer. Okay, we've got the answer, and now I'm going to use the web browser, okay, the HTTP client. This would be as using Google Chrome or Edge or Firefox from that computer. So here, if I write www.maristasbilbao.com/file1.html, my computer knows, because he asked it to the DNS server, that www.maristasbilbao.com is this computer, and this computer has a folder linked to this domain that contains this file. So let's request that file, and there we are. Hello, this is file 1 from www.maristasbilbao.com. So when we do this, okay, when we try to navigate a page, we are doing this. We are requesting that file to a server that is linked to that domain, which has a folder linked to that domain, okay, and the server will, if it finds the file, it will gives us the file, and if it doesn't, it will send us an error saying that that file is not inside, okay, it's not inside that folder, okay, it's not inside the folder linked to that domain. This is usually called a 404 error, okay. This is the error code, okay, that we will get from a web server if the page that we requested is not there. From this other computer, I'm going to do more or less the same, but with another domain. I'm going to request the IP address to the DNS server, and now that I know that that domain is linked to this computer, I'm going to request that file from that server. Okay, that this subdomain is configured on the same physical server. Okay, it was not file 1, which was the name, I don't remember it. It was test, right? So let's, okay, file 1 wasn't there, so let's request test.html, and there it is. And this is test file from aula.maristasbilbao.com. And just the same, from this other computer, I want to use email.maristasbilbao.com. Okay, as I don't remember the name of the file, let's check. Okay, this was email.html. So now that I know the IP address linked to that domain, I'm going to enter email.maristasbilbao.com/email.html. Okay, I want to check if I have email or no using my webmail. My webmail is hosted inside this computer. And there you have no new email. Okay, this is just a simplification, but remember, each time you try to use a website, right, a web or to enter a web page, your computer is going to request the DNS server the IP address for the domain that you are trying to access, and once your browser knows the IP address, it is going to contact, okay, it is going to request the HTTP server, the web server linked to that domain. Okay, it is going to request it one file. The HTTP server is going to look for that file inside the folder linked to that domain or to that subdomain, and it is going to, if it finds it, it is going to send it back to us so we can watch it with our browser. Okay, and it doesn't matter, it can be an image, it can be a video, okay, it can be any kind of file that is stored inside that web server. So that's it. This has been our last video about networks. Okay, I hope that you understood the different concepts that I've been trying to explain here. Okay, and if you are with me at class, okay, good luck at the exam.